Alright, let's see now. Come on. Let's see now. Okay. I guess we can just start doodling little doodles. Just little lines, I guess. Just make something random out of it. Something unexpected. Similar to how a lot of things are. Never really planned. The planned things are always the weird ones, I guess. You know? Nothing you ever really do makes a lot of sense. Never really does. I mean, think about it. You don't plan to fall asleep. You go to sleep and your body shuts down when it needs to. You don't really get to decide that. You can work towards it, and you can try to plan it and be like, okay, I'm going to go rest in bed now. But you don't go in there and decide, okay, I shut off now. You go in there and you essentially just wait for your subconscious to decide, okay, everything's calm, everything's whatever, and then you eventually go to sleep. And it's not really planned, but you assume that it's gonna end up working the way you expect it. It's kind of weird like that when you think about it, because it doesn't always work that way. Sometimes you lay down in bed and you're wondering and thinking, and you never end up really going to bed. You went physically into bed, but you never really ended up going to sleep. The sleep part was the part that ends up being overlooked by the mind. It just doesn't end up shutting off. And that's what's so weird about it. It's one of those things that makes you wonder, okay, well, the plan was to go to bed, but what really happened was I ended up staying up all night thinking about random things. Not even useful things. Not useful, just random little things that only affect you, or maybe do affect other people, but nothing that you came up with a result for. Just simple little things. Normal little things, life events, things that are, as you guessed it, outside of your control. Things that you don't really have any say in, whether you would like to or not. Things that just happen. People like to believe that they're in more control than they really think they are. But that's a lie. People aren't in control at all. They try to pretend that they are. They try to pretend that they have everything figured out. Some people do. Some people know better. But when it comes to the great scale of things, we don't have control over anything, really. Maybe our small little environment we can somewhat warp and shape and meld, but we have yet to become advanced enough to actually control it. We can't. We can easily be wiped out by a bunch of things, and people just overlook that. They don't want to think about that. That's a horrifying thing to actually think about. Why would you subject yourself to such maniac, such horrible thoughts, such weird thoughts? You want to put yourself into fear? That is a weird thing to do. It makes no sense to do that when you don't have to. And some people very easily avoid this because they don't want to end up having to deal with stuff like that. Not at all. It makes no sense to either. Why would you want to deal with something like that when you don't have to? You know what I'm saying? I guess this goes back into the nothing's planned part, because our species really is just a limited thing, And we plan for the future. We plan for the next thing, the next election, the next who's in charge, the next thing we're going to do, the next invention, the next project we're going to do, the next film, the next movie. We're anticipating the next. And I guess maybe that gives us the illusion of having some type of control when in actuality we we really don't. I mean, think about it. We're always planning for something in hopes that we can actually get to it, honestly. But there's no guarantee that we'll ever actually get to it. There's none. There's zero guarantee that anything we do will ever actually be brought forward. We could easily all be wiped out tomorrow without even knowing it. In our sleep, just quietly, just not even expecting it. A super earthquake or something could just, boom, go off, and just, for lack of better words, fuck up a lot of things. The world as you enjoy it now would very likely be absolute shit, and it's a possibility. A lot of people want to act like no, it's not, but it's a possibility. It's 100% a possibility. We are very limited. We are a very temporary thing, and we like to believe that we can do more. Do this. Go. Think about it. We act as if everything we do is going to have a forever lasting effect. Do this because it's going to make you happy. You need to go to school because you need to get an education. You need to get an education so you can work a job. You need to work a job so you can make money. You need to make money so you can, quote unquote, enjoy life. But the job you have doesn't allow you to enjoy life at all. But you have to do it because apparently you need money to buy all the silly distractions that you're going to use, all the digital media, all the media in general, whether it be, it's all digital, most of it's digital, but so you can pay your bills to play video games and to watch TV and to watch YouTube videos and so on and so forth, and you need to buy this and buy that, and they tell you to do all this when in actuality most people aren't happy at all. Most people are very not happy in any way, shape, and or form. They work a job, they get money, and they don't know why they're not fulfilled. And then they distract themselves with such things as drugs. They get themselves a bunch of alcohol or medicinal drugs or even illegal drugs, and then they consume media. For people who don't do drugs, they still consume media, which is still a distraction. Some people just take the distraction tools a lot further than other people. And really, it's a very interesting thing to see where natural human basic needs are just not ever really met. Never really actually met, and they just wonder why they are so empty inside. And really, it's sad. It's sad to see, but unique to see that a species can back itself into a corner to the point where everyone is just not realizing why they're unhappy at all. They're not really understanding of what's going on. They're always online, not enough real social communications. None of their natural needs are being met. They're not physically active enough. They stare at electronic screens all day, hurt their eyes, hurt their brain, mess up with their natural chemistry. They're eating crap all the time. All the time. People don't even realize even these health foods are crap. And people don't realize that they're just fucking themselves up, causing themselves to be even less happy than they would be with or without. And it just doesn't make sense to me. I don't even remember where I'm going with this. I'm just getting upset thinking about this. Just the poor state that humans are in. They're either in They're either living in shitty, impoverished areas, or they're living in the first world and they're still not happy. Impoverished areas, some of them are slowly being modernized, but hopefully we can figure out a way to balance out all these things that make the modern world unhappy. Hey, hopefully, before a lot of these non modernized places get absolutely modernized and just become exactly the way we are, just absolutely, positively, just unhappy. I mean, it's just the truth. Just absolutely not happy. Not happy. Not at all. It's just common. If you ever sit down and just talk with somebody, ask them about how life's going, there's always something going on. There's very few people who are just 100% happy. Well, let me rephrase that. No one's at 100% happy. But I mean, usually people have something to complain about that's going on in their life at the moment. And it's always something that could have been avoided. You would think that in such a nice environment where we're safe and have access to food, that we wouldn't have problems. But people self-create all these problems, and then there's other problems they don't even realize they're creating from themselves, like such as the environment problem I was talking about just a moment ago, with the lack of needs being met. Those are problems that people don't even realize they're creating, but then they create other problems, such as relationship problems, because there's not enough drama in the world for them, so they end up creating their own little problems, I guess. I guess that's the best way to say it, really. Oh man, these rambles, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. It's just really, really, it's just, just, honestly, it's just getting bullshit off my mind. That's all this is, really. It's just to record my rambles. Hopefully, they'll be better quality later, but that's all this is. Just recording my rambles, just record the things I